Hi everyone, I'm Grattles and welcome back to the Best Start 2 series. This is episode 22, I believe. I think so. Anyway, if you've never been here before, then welcome, and I do a Best Start series. I did one and this is my second one, and I do things a little bit differently in each one. First one, I kept alternative recipes to a minimum. This one I kind of used a little bit more alternative recipes in it. But anyway, the last time we left off, we built this building. And this was supercomputers, I believe, or heat sinks to cooling systems. See, I'm an episode behind. And fused modular frames. And we needed those things because we just need those things to get to our phase 4. But also because we needed to make, where is that machine? There we go. Pressure conversion cubes. We need pressure conversion cubes because we need nuclear pasta. And then we also need to make electronic control rods. So we need all these things so we can make our phase 4 parts. And yeah, I'm going to build a building over, I think up front here. And I'm going to get started on it. I didn't even do a skeleton of it yet. But I'll get some things set up, and this way, you know, the episode won't take so long. Because I have a lot to do. And I want you to be included. But I also know that I kind of kept every single build in every episode. And most of the buildings are very similar. And this one will be no exception. So as long as I collect... there we go. I got some electric there. Alright, so yeah, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Alright, so I am back, and I basically did what I said. I set up this kind of skeleton look with some splitters in the back of these machines. Here we're going to make the electronic control rods. They're 4 per minute. We have 3 machines here, so 4 times 3 is 12. And I have like a logistics floor down here in case we need it. Then up here, we have our pressure cube conversion cubes, whatever. Pressure conversion cubes, yeah. And they're only going to be making 3, I believe I'm going to do. I don't know, I might change that later on. But anyway, I got to run the electric, which is in the floor, which is what I normally do. I just run from that little piece right there underneath the floor here, and it will connect right in here. So I set these up pretty much. They're ready to be hooked up. Wow, I just did that. That's fine. And I did set up, let's see, I think I did some pulling of materials up here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, so I got some of the radio controls, those there, the stators. So, yeah, I'm just going to start pulling all of those into our building. I did set up some storage up here, and we did have another logistics floor down in here. So I'm going to try to get this all hooked up and get it ready to go. And I'll be back. I also want to start setting up for our nuclear pasta, which I haven't really figured out where I'm going to put those particle accelerators just yet. But yeah, hopefully I figure that out soon. So I'll be back. Alright, so I pretty much completed this building, and you may be wondering why I'm rushing through this step. And that is because the particle accelerators are a lot more complicated. This is basically just doing the same thing we've been doing, which is taking the parts that we already are making and bringing them in and making the machines. The next step with the particle accelerator is going to be a little more complicated because we've never made copper powder. We need to bring in a lot of copper. I did do that. I think I showed you in the last episode that I did bus in or train in a bunch of copper powder. But anyway, let me take you through this. Let's just break through a window here and show you this. There we go. Whoop, we got an elevator there. Alright, so the pressure conversion cube, that's taking the fused modular frames and radio controls. And those are coming in from the top there. And then we can jump in the elevator here and bring it down 2 floors because We just have a logistics floor, which is just splitting up our stuff. If the elevator would come, there we go. Let's go to the bottom floor. Ow, I just hit the door. All right, this is our electromagnetic control rods. Again, we did the same thing. We're just bringing in the stators and the AI limiters, which we are making, and that is making what we need, the electromagnetic control rods. So let's bring this to the top, and I'll show you what we got going on up there. There's a logistics floor. There are no windows in that one. I gotta put windows. All right, not a big deal. But anyway, here is our storage as I run into the storage. And that is going to be going out to, what is this? The pressure conversion to our nuclear pasta. And yeah, that is why we don't have anything here. The electromagnetic rods, those are getting filled here. So we're pretty much good with that. So next, I'm going to start setting up for our particle accelerators. And then I will walk you through the process of that. So I'll be back. All right, so I set up a circle. Now, if you want to know how to make a circle, I have where I made the hub there, a circular hub. It's exactly the same setup. So I'll link the video in the description below if you want to check that out on how to make a nice circle like this. But I thought these things are super cool. Why not just have them right in the middle of our area here? So I thought that would be a great idea. So I do have these nice little curves. I have this merger here to bring our nuclear pasta back on track over there. And yeah, we're getting close. So the one thing we do need to make is copper powder. So this is a lot of copper powder. Believe it or not, we need 400 copper powder, 200 each, to come into the machines. Now I already have our pressure conversion cubes, which I just stole one, I don't know why, coming in, and they're coming in right here. And then over on this side is where we're going to be bringing in that copper powder and splitting it in two. Now let me show you a little bit about the copper powder. I'm gonna go into one of these guys. So it just takes a constructor, but it takes a lot. So if I were to just say make this at 100, you need 600 copper ingots to make 100 copper powder. That's a lot of ingots. So anyway, let me get rid of that blueprint there. I had brought in some copper on a train, one of my last episodes, and this is bringing in 300 per slot here, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I also brought in copper over here for our heat sinks, and we're only using 300 out of the 600. So I do have another 300 here, but I do need to go grab 300 more. So I'm going to go down to the other end there, and there is a normal copper node down there, and I'm gonna pull in 300 more from down here. I'll show you on our map. Let me scan and let me zoom in, and it's pretty much right there. I already put a miner on it, so that's normal, and I can grab 300 from there and 300 from that side, and that'll be the 600 we'll need. So that's going to work out well. But I do need to pull out that blueprinter again, because I need to make the ore into ingots and then the ingots into the copper powder. So I'm going to start setting up all that, because it's just basically running belts, and I'll show you the whole belt system, and I'll set up a blueprinter with some smelters to kind of get this more efficient. But down here, this is the train we need to pull it from for the 300, and yeah, and then we'll get going, because we have a lot of work to do. All right, I'll be back. All right, so here's that copper node down here, and I forgot I have Mark III miners, so I don't even need to pull from that train coming in. I already set it up to run it, but I don't really need to. I actually started to do it myself, and then I was like, wait a second, I have Mark III miners. So Mark III miners on a normal node can give me the 600 I needed. So I decided, why not just use it efficiently this way and not have to use the other 300. I'm just gonna put some power to this. Let's see. Run it to there. And I think there's some power over here somewhere. There we go. Alright, so that should be up and running. I think. Are you gonna go? Does it not have power? There it goes. Alright, so there it goes. It's pushing out the 600, coming under this, and going to where we need it. Alright, I also set up a blueprint. Let me show you. So let's head back. So down here is where I ran that splitter. I don't need a merger, not a splitter. Ay. So anyway, I don't need that. So now I can just simply run this right to there. Let's press R, make it straight. It looks a lot neater. And we got our 600 coming in. Perfect. So that is going to come on up to the top. Now here, I merged the 300 and 300 into a 600. Same with this one and this one. So we have 4 600s going in to these right here. Lifts under the ceiling here. And then we're going to go upstairs and I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, so these are the blueprints I came up with. And they're side by side. This is the whole blueprint right here. And I have, let me show you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 on this side, 6 on that side, 6 on this side, 6 on that side. Each one will make me 50 ingots. So 6 times 50 is 300 on this side, 300 on this side, 300 on this side, and 300 on this side, equaling 1200 because it's 6 and 6. And then over here we have the same thing, 6 and 6. So we'll have 2400. Now you may be wondering why? Why do we need so much? So let's take a look here. So I'm going to pull out a constructor. Here's our powder. And if I overclock this to 100, we'd need 600 to make 100. So that one, that one, that one, that one, each are going to come into one of these. So I'm going to need 4 of these to push out 400 powder to those particle accelerators. So I'm just going to grab this, come across here, say around, well, we could just come into there. Dips down a little bit. I'm not too worried about it. I mean, I could, if I was worried about it, come in and bring that up just a little bit more. Let's do this, because I do not like the way it looks. So we'll just come up to there, and then that should be it. Much straighter, makes me happier. All right. So now why did I do that? I needed that. Of course I needed it. So anyway, let's go here. I'm gonna turn this around. That's 1, 2. Before I do that, let's pick what we need. Let's put the power shards in. We need to get this to 100. Let's do that. And hell, we might as well copy this as copper here and copy and paste. All right, it didn't copy the color though. That's fine. So anyway, that is going to be making 100. We're going to now copy this machine, put it down, and this one here. All right, so each of these are going to have one of these coming out. I said 600 here. If you look here, I have a belt that's coming out that way. That's going in. So this is the one that needs to come around. I'm going to wrap it around this way. If it would stop clicking in there, that's annoying. Oh, come on, stop clicking. I guess we'll go... Let's go back here. That'll be fine. And we'll wrap that in. And I'm going to paint that in the copper as well. Alright, so that's going to be one. And we still need power to these, mind you. So next thing I got to do is find where this one's coming out. Tell me it's coming out on this side. That's going to be annoying. Yep, it is. So we can drop this. Let's do this. Then we'll take this, bring it up. See if I can drop down here. I think that should be good. Let's see how that works. And we'll leave that actually out, and we'll come around and go into there. Now, that is not straight. We need to come up a little bit higher. So, in order to do that, let's take this, bring it across. That's the easiest way to figure out where you want to be. Let's grab that, bring it up, up, boom. Alrighty, and now we could either go like that, or if we come back in this way, we can bring it right to the front of these. And that does not like that, but how about default? Nope, that still doesn't like it. So, I don't like this because it's not going to work. So I'm just going to come this way a second. Let's grab that. Let's come to here. Nope, not there. Right there. And then I can remove this and this and this. And eventually we'll put a floor there. I think that'll be fine. But it's going to get where it needs to go, right? That's the most important thing. Alright, so we got 2 of them set up. Now we need a third one. Let's come down here. Grab a belt. Come out to there. Bring that one into there. We'll paint that as well. And then we need another one, which is going to come out this way again. So what I'm thinking on this one is I might do that drop down, what I was going to do before. So that's the output. We're going to drop it in there. And then we're going to take this, do that same kind of trick there. I ran out of a little bit of power. And then I'm going to take this. Where's that lift? There we go. Copy. No. The lift. There we go. Bring it under there. Now we'll run a belt, not a... There we go. Right along the ceiling. Wants to connect to there for some reason. That would be good. Yep, I like that. There. Alright, so that's kind of good. Kind of good. I did not color this belt, which is annoying. There we go. There. Alright, so I'm going to spend a little bit of time hooking this up to power. And then we'll route these guys down because we're going to be able to merge them. And then set them up to go into our particle accelerators and be able to turn those on. So I will be back. Alright, so everything is online and going, and wow, look at those ingots just going and making that powder. It's crazy how fast it's going. But look at that, we're up to 105. It's just cooking. I don't know how much it stacks, but we'll find out, I'm sure. So anyway, we gotta get this coming into over here, so I'm just gonna grab this. And we're gonna bring that down. Turn it around and do that. Next, let's go ahead and merge these. So merge, and let's see where that's gonna line up. Right there. Oh, I hope that's fine. I think it will be. We'll see. Alright. Copper powder's going out. These guys have power to them. So they should start up once they get enough power. Powder. There we go. That's starting to load up. And where's our powder? Come on. That's That's the output. There's the powder there. Okay, that's loading up. Alright, once this loads up with the 200 it needs... Oh boy, this is gonna get crazy. Yeah, it's gonna start making our nuclear pasta. 1 per minute. And I'm gonna have to do a building over that. The train station is underneath. Probably have to line, put some lights and stuff down in here somewhere. And then we'll build this out and cap it off. But I really do like this as a centerpiece to our kind of world here. Again, the circle, if you like it. I just wanted something special for it. But I will link the circular hub video in that for you. But check this out. Look at the lights. Let's do this at night. I think it'll be pretty cool. Let's turn off our flashlight. So yeah, these guys are pretty darn cool looking. I really do love the lights and the static electricity that goes through it. And hopefully, this powder will catch up. I'm going to let those fill. I'm not going to make any storage for them at the moment. Or even put them onto the belt system here. Let's make it daytime again. And again, these will fill up quite quickly. The ingots are coming through nicely. Not an issue there. Nothing seems backed up or anything like that. So anyway, I'm going to start building out a building over there. And finishing this up. But I do really, really like this as our centerpiece. I think it looks cool. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so here's a quick look at the building I made for our copper powder. And it's quite simple. I just made a quick little storage bin here for our nuclear pasta. And we're getting quite a bit going on there. Over here is where we're making some ingots. And then we have another floor up in here. Let's go up there. There we go. Alright, so that's gonna be it for our nuclear pasta, but since the episode's so short, I did do a little bit of something else, so let's go down and take a look. So I set up for our phase 4. I always do it on the fly. I don't know why, I just do. So let's take a walk over to here and I'll show you the setup. I do need to add a little bit of extra here for some storage because I obviously have no storage here and we're going to need it. So anyway, I have all these things hooked up. We need the assembly director system. We need the thermal propulsion rocket. And we also need the magnetic field generator as well as nuclear pasta. Nuclear pasta is already being made. And I make things on the fly for the space elevator parts. So as you can see, I have to go all the way back to the beginning and make some of the beginning stuff just to get us up and running all the way back to phase 1, which was smart plating. So anyway, I set this up on the fly. I have everything in here that I usually pull right from our dimensional depots, and I am going to let this run. We're gonna get through phase 4 pretty quickly because I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch this for an hour. Just make parts. So I'm just going to put these storage bins on the end here, and then we are going to pull the electric trigger so this way we could start making these guys. So I put them on a thing, I don't know, some power thing over there. You'll see it in a minute. And I'm going to let this run. Wow. Line up. There we go. There we go. Alright. So everything is hooked to power. I just have this little power thing here. What is it called again? The power switch. Let's go E and we're going to turn it on. Let's see how much power this is going to take. Well, we'll see later. So everything's power slugged. Everything's summer slooped. So it's going to take a lot of power. But anything... Why is this red? Why is this red? Do I not have power to this? Okay. Well, we'll get that fixed in a minute. And this is why you should double and triple check everything. What am I doing? E. There we go. Now it's hooked up. Okay. So everything should be yellow, white eventually. Not red. Not red. Red is not good. So anyway, I'm going to let this run. And I'll be back when we are finished. And we can get everything loaded onto our space elevator and see what's in Tier 9. Alright, so as you can see, I set up a couple of extra things because we're going to need a lot more stuff. And I'm missing circuit boards. Let's just take a couple from here. So you may be wondering why I'm still running it when I actually hit what I needed. And it is because in Phase 5, we're going to need a lot of these parts. In fact, all of these to do our Phase 5. So I'm going to just leave these running and fill these containers. I'll keep filling these up as much as I need to make sure we get enough stuff for Phase 5. But for Phase 4, we are good. We got everything here except our nuclear pasta, which we'll pick up along the way. Let me just throw this stuff in here really quickly, just to sort it out, and I can delete that. And I got plenty of space. And let's go get that nuclear pasta. So we only need 100 nuclear pasta, but in the next phase, Phase 5, we'll need 1,000. So we'll definitely put 1,000 aside once we make it. We're not even close, but yeah, we'll make sure that we put 1,000 aside once we get it going. But anyway, let's go head down to the space elevator and launch Phase 4 and see what's in Tier 9. Alright, so here we are. Let's go ahead and get this in here. There we go. And let's seal it. Alright, let's send this. Alright, there it goes. Alright, so we are now Phase 5. Tier 9. Let's go check out what we need to do. Alright, Tier 9, matter conversion. So this is the first thing we'll do. This is, you know, a little different. We got some SAM we're gonna get. We're gonna have to get SAM. Oof, a lot of SAM. We're gonna have to make diamonds, time crystals, biochemical sculptors, and then we got quantum encoding. It all looks so confusing. We get Mark III blueprints, which it's the end of the game. I don't know if we're gonna use it or not, but you know, it's cool anyway. Portals for warping and peak efficiency. So, but we need to get these fixon trigons and these time crystals first. So we're definitely gonna have to select this. And in order to get this, we're gonna need fused modular frames. Let's grab those. Take from individual. There we go. So we need 100 of these. There's 100. Radio controls, 250. Wrong one. Let's do cooling systems. We need 500 of those. Alright, and radio controls. We need 250. Oh, that was not 250. I don't know what I was thinking. We're almost there. There we go. Alright, let's get these all in. There we go. Punch that. There we go. And now we have that open. So, this is going to get interesting. Alright, so I do want to get that peak efficiency. The peak efficiency will give us the Mark 6 belts, where things will move at 1200, I believe, per line, which with lifts and belts, that would be perfect. So I did want to take a look first what we're going to need. We're going to need the coal, 600 per minute. We could definitely use those belts because I can put Mark III miners on there and get 1200, split it in two, make a ton of coal, ton of diamonds, because the diamonds we need for time crystals. And then also we need to make the fix-it. We have 3 recipes for fix-it. We have iron, deuterium, and aluminum. So yeah, to make all these things, we have to bring in a lot of material, whether it's going to be SAM, iron, deuterium, whatever we're going to use to do all these things. So my thought process is this. I went to the store and I looked to see if I can buy the trigons and the time crystals, and I could. But we need 10,000 plates. So I'm going to hit the iron factory. I'm going to grab a ton of plates, and then we're going to grab our aluminum, buy the trigons and the time crystals, and open up peak efficiency. And the next episode, I'm going to be, well, between now and the next episode, I'm going to be running Sam, either iron or deuterium, to make those trigons. So I'm going to be doing a lot of setup work just to run that stuff in. I will show you. But yeah, let's focus on today because we have a lot to do. So let's break into our thing here and see what we can do. Let's sort this. I'm just going to take all of this and all of this and fill up whatever I can. And then we're going to replace this roof. There we go. And let's see if that's enough iron plates to get us there. We'll see. Alright, we're back at the hub. Let's see if we can submit those iron plates. We did. I'm going to throw the rest into here. We don't need them. There we go. Let's go ahead and check our aluminum. Alright, so I'm going to have to do this 4 more times. So I'm going to submit these right now. I got to let them fill, not fill. Because I don't feel like going running back to the aluminum. You know what? We're going to run to the aluminum. I'll be back. Alright, so I grabbed the aluminum. Let's submit that. Perfect. Let's go buy our trigons and time crystals. I got tickets here. We got plenty of tickets going on. I think 300. Got another 8 here. We'll print those as well. Let's just throw them together. Perfect. We only need like 10, well, no, 20. So let's do this. Time crystals. We'll grab 2 of these, add to cart, because there's only 200. So I'm going to need 2, because we need 250 of each. And then we need trigons. Let's see there, add to cart. Let's go to the cart. Add 2 of those. And then buy all. Alrighty. Let's go here. And we will... What? Oh, I didn't pick them up. I always do that. I purchase stuff, and then I forget to go to purchases and pick up my purchases. You know, it's like buying something at a store and then leaving it there. Crazy. But anyway, let's go ahead, submit that, punch that. Come on. There we go. Peak efficiency. So now let's take a look at our belts. So now logistics, this is going to be 3, this is going to be 7 on my hotbar, and we're going to have Mark 6 belts and lifts. So I'm going to be, between now and our next episode, running in Sam, running in either deuterium or iron or whatever we're going to use for those fix-it trigons, and I'll be setting up for tier 9. So we're going to be doing tier 9. No nuclear power, I don't think, in this series. I did nuclear power in the first series, the first Best Start series. And the second one, I did rocket fuel, which, as you can see, we're holding our own on that. So, again, guys, phase 4, nuclear pasta. We got the stuff we needed. What was this stuff? I forget. This episode was like crazy. It's a lot of stuff. Oh, the frames and the electromagnetic rods, and boy, it's getting loud over here. Anyway, I thank you. If you stayed this long, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to end the episode off here. And if you like my content, you want to see more, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all those good things. I do have memberships. That's a little, it's above and beyond. Honestly, I have 4 super fans and 1 fan, which is amazing. And but that's above and beyond. But you do get a shout out with my super fans one, which is $2.99 a month. The regular fans is 99 cents a month. And again, with the $2.99, you get a shout out after every video, which is coming up now. Bye.